We could have opened the show with the Hegseth Signalgate story.
Oh, we'll get to that?
Yeah, but it's
Oh, this is where the debate starts.
a story.
It's not.
This isn't supposed to be a simple form.
I mean,
no.
this
This is standard operating procedure.
It always happens on both sides of the aisle. They pick their like political person that they get behind.
Yes, that is true. But we only like it when the Republicans do it. That's essentially what Tim is going to say.
You know, and if it's like, it's either like Lakin Riley, now it's Mahmoud Khalil.
20 million or so illegal
I
immigrants.
don't-
Wait. I'm going to agree with you 100%. Agreed. The conservatives prop up a young woman who was murdered by an illegal immigrant criminal gang member, and the Democrats prop up the criminal illegal immigrant gang member. I know which side I'm on.
True. I mean, hey.
They put so you know how it's bunk? The cop who is simply standing in front of people with his hands up, not involved in the Chauvin incident at all, just off to the side, they put him in prison for life. Why?
The George Floyd stuff is wild.
It's just happening so fast and furiously, and that's why I think there's a lot of concern.
So,
And the way it's happening, it's like kind of.
But we voted for
When-
mass
when-
deportation.
That's the concern. It's going kind of quick, and it's kind of concerning. Yes, that's true. At least give that to her. But do they give that to her? And this is the thing that's going to bother me throughout this entire thing, and why I'm kind of going a little harsh on Tim. It's gaslighty. This is a gaslighty thing to do. I've been getting a lot of comments saying that I talk too much, so I'm gonna shut up and just get right into it. So yeah, do what's on screen. Forgot my buttons. Yeah, do what's on screen. There we go. Perfect. And yeah, we're gonna talk about Tim. I'm gonna talk. No, this is the beginning. I am allowed to say whatever I want in the beginning. If you don't like that, then I mean, I'll just edit it out later, but whatever. I like Tim. Tim's pretty cool. He's pretty chill. He's awesome. I like watching his stuff, and I've watched him enough to understand when Tim is kind of BSing and when he's just being fair. So, man, I wonder what Destiny's gonna make. Destiny's definitely gonna make a video on this, because this is some wild stuff that happened in this video.
So 4 more Democrats are flying down to El Salvador, and it's not good news. Already, Democrat Senator Chris Van Hollen is backing away from his support of Abrego Garcia, saying, no, he's not vouching for the guy. He's just concerned about due process. Despite the fact that previously the dude almost referred to the guy as an American. That's how insane they've been getting. This story is eating Democrats up because most Americans don't want illegal immigrants here, and they want them deported. Now, you can take a look at CNN. You can take a look at Echelon Insights. But we got a poll from Pew. 83% of Americans.
It's funny how, like, he's doing all the news stuff, but like he barely touches news in this entire system, this entire time. But like this is wild.
Deportations, not all, but at least to a degree, right? So you'd argue, when you're talking about who you want deported, how about wife-beating MS-13 gang member? Is that on your list? Probably most Americans are okay with this person being deported. So now we're seeing the Democrats try to shift away, and the media trying to pick up another story. Pete Hegseth. He may be getting fired, they claim, in rumors based on one anonymous person, even though Trump said he's not going to fire the guy. And they're claiming that there's another Signalgate happening with no evidence. They are so desperate to get off this story, it seems they're trying to go back to an old one. So we're going to talk about that, plus a bunch of other stories from the day. Trump says he's going to start collections on student loans again. Sorry, if you didn't get that forgiveness, he's saying no to Biden's plan. Before we get started, my friends, we have an awesome...
I mean, at least Trump is like saying, yeah, bro, you're just not going to get it, and we're going to start collections now. Instead of Biden being like, yeah, we're going to forgive you, and then actually, turns out we can't really forgive you, but then I guess we could try and forgive you, and... Now people don't even know if they're going to get forgiveness or not. And now Trump is like, yeah, you're not getting it, so don't even bother like thinking about this anymore. At least we don't have any confusion this time. So whatever, I guess.
Some sponsor, it's Bearskin. Check it out. Guys, you want to go to B-A-E-R. It's B-A-E-R. Bearskin60.com. You'll get 60% off.
I might actually get this.
I'm sorry,
maybe.
Bearskin60.com.
Depends on how much it costs.
We're
going to skip through that.
Now, burned. The Appalachian Nights, Rise with Roberto Jr., and don't forget the delicious Misty Mountains. Big news.
I'm going to get his coffee one day, because those bags, like, it would look so nice right next to my my Daily Wire stuff, my Trump stuff, and my Crowder stuff. Just get some Tim Pool merch, put it right back there. Be great, be fun. It's cool.
We've got the Appalachian Nights, Rise with Roberto Jr., and don't forget the delicious Misty Mountains. Big news. It looks like for the Culture War Live events, we've got our lineup set. Will Chamberlain versus Pisco Liddy debating the Abrego Garcia.
Ooh, Pisco. Damn. I keep talking and I keep pausing, but I'm fast. So we're getting right back into it.
With actual legal documents. And this Culture War Live will be May 3rd, so about 2 weeks from now, and y'all will be able to join us on the debate stage. I believe we may have 1 or 2 tickets left, probably sold out. But if you are a member of the timcast.com Discord, you can actually submit your view of the debate issue, and we will invite you on stage to join the debate. Think Kill Tony meets Jubilee. That's the plan. So we're really excited to announce that. Don't forget to smash the like button, share the show with everyone you know. Joining us tonight to talk about this and so much more is Tara Palmeri.
Hey, Tim.
All right. Tara Palmeri. Let me see that. Let me find this out. Oh, there we go. She's just buried. All right. Oh, because I want to look this person up. All right. So American journalist. Now, this is why we got this thing over here. We got input text manually. Boom. Hit enter. Well, no, not hit enter. Just hit play.
Tara Palmeri is an American journalist and independent content creator on YouTube and Substack, where she writes the Red Letter. She was previously the senior political correspondent for subscription news platform Puck.
Okay. Interesting. All right. So this is her. Let's get back to the video.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, who are you?
It's great to be here in West Virginia. I kept thinking of that like John Denver song, which I love. Who am I? I am a journalist that has gone independent. I've worked for...
Oh my God, Tim, you've been doing this for years. How do you still have XLR cables like running over these? Bro, it doesn't... they've been doing this for so long. They got so many microphones, but they still have XLR cables running through over what do you call it? I don't even have like a charger. You know the charger things you plug into the wall? Yeah, that's what that hissing is coming from. They run it. It's running over a DC AC converter. Basically, that's what you call a charger brick. It's an AC DC converter basically, because everything coming from the wall is AC. Because it's much more efficient to transmit AC over long distances. But every electrical component that you have, every single one, runs on DC. And that's why with phones, you don't need an AC DC converter, because batteries are, when they discharge DC current. Yeah. But yeah, whatever. Sidetracked.
15 years, everywhere from the Washington...
But that's where that hissing's coming from, and it's kind of annoying. Come on, Tim. You've been doing this for years. I'm burning my beanie boy. I mean, he's the reason why I wear all these hats, because like he wears the hats, I'm wearing my own hats. So you know what?
Examiner and the New York Post to ABC News, where I was White House correspondent. I've been in new media at Puck. I spent a year and a half just investigating the Jeffrey Epstein crime and doing podcasts on that. I just had a podcast, political one on the Ringer Network with Bill Simmons. So I've just decided I am going to try to follow your footsteps and try to create a media empire. I'm a little minnow next to you, but thanks for having me.
Tell your boss says that you quit.
I already did it. You know what? Like you, just say I quit. I'm doing it on my own. I think you have to bet on.
Bro. This started off with her being in such agreement with him and using him as kind of like almost like a role model. Kind of like, actually, no, basically like a role model. But like, how does this spiral out of control like that? Bro, let's just keep going.
On yourself in life. And
let's go.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, very cool.
So thanks for having me.
Yeah,
I
thanks
really
for joining.
appreciate it.
It's going to be fun. Elada's here.
Hey, everybody. Good evening.
She was so respectful in the beginning. She did not deserve what's coming towards her for the next 2 hours. She was so respectful in the beginning. Come on now. I mean, I keep pausing, but let's keep going.
Yahoo Timcast, White House correspondent. Tara, I'm really excited to hear from somebody with so much experience in the journalism space, both establishment and now in the new media space. And it's just funny seeing the old media people saying they look up to Tim now. Crazy how things work.
But is this confirmed, the press pool for tomorrow?
It is confirmed.
You're on it? We can announce that?
I'll be in the pool with Donald Trump, and I believe you'll be in the new media seat tomorrow.
If there is one, right?
If there is
we're supposed to say that?
A briefing. If there is one.
I don't know that we're supposed to say that, are we?
Well, we don't know. Well, how's it going over there?
Breaking news.
We're live. I don't know if we're supposed to say that as he's saying it live. Okay, good one, Tim. Good one.
Take the suit back a lot. I am Shane Cashman, host of Inverted World Live. We go live on YouTube and Rumble every Sunday at 6 o'clock. What is up, Phil?
Hello, everybody. My name is Phil Labonte. I'm the lead singer of the heavy metal band All That Remains. I'm an anti-communist and counter-revolutionary. Let's get into it.
Here we go from Mediaites. Democrat Senator tell.
That's probably the most Phil is going to say throughout this entire video for the 2 hours, because it becomes a back and forth between Tim and her. And All right, I keep spoiling, but you know what?
Fox
Let's
News,
keep
he's
going.
not vouching
Let's keep
for the man
going.
in a
I
Rebecca
talk
Garcia
too
case
much.
and will support a court deporting him. Now, this is a huge turnaround from a guy who nearly called him an American and stopped himself and then called him a resident. And with the media screaming to the high heavens, Maryland father, for a Democrat senator who was leading the charge to come out and be like, I'm not vouching for the guy and I'm okay with him being deported now. Wow, talk about a heavy 180. Now the issue for Democratic Senator Van Hollen is simply the issue of due process, not the MS-13 gang member accused of mercilessly beating his wife on more than one occasion. I think it's fair to say that they walked face first into this one. And here's the best part. 4 more Democrats are going down there. This is not, I don't know what they're thinking with this. We are going to be having a debate in the culture war going over all the legal documents, which I believe shows he's gotten his due process. But the American people, of all of the things Trump has done, immigration is his most popular issue. Why are they setting themselves up like this?
To make me laugh because I needed a good chuckle.
The Democrats are sitting back and they're like, what can we do that'll make Phil laugh today?
Absolutely. I mean, it's hilarious. They're falling over themselves, siding with the worst people that are here. Their whole story is irredeemable. Like, he's here illegally. He's probably a member, or he's alleged to be a member of a gang, but it's been multiple courts that have said it, I believe. And I don't remember what the other person or the other organization that made allegations that he's in a gang, but they're reputable organizations. There's his ex-girlfriend has filed charges or at least made claims of abuse.
Ex-girlfriend did?
I don't remember if it was
His wife.
His wife.
Okay, my bad. All right. So
His wife.
But this only goes to my point.
Wow, yeah, it's funny how Democrats completely just they jump ship on the MS-13 guy. Oh, the Maryland man. Oh, the Maryland man. Oh, we deported a Maryland man. And he's only been in the country for how long? And they're defending an MS-13 guy. Like, bro, this is wild. Like, the Democrats were like, oh, Trump bad is so bad that he deported a Maryland man. And then they slurped up their entire propaganda. And then when they actually go down there to see this person, they're like, oh, this guy is legitimately an MS-13 guy. Well, I mean, we don't need to have to bro, it's just wild how they were harping on that nonsense. Like, oh, due process. It's just hilarious. And then, yeah, they literally did get burned. They did get burned. Call them out.
He is totally
You're
not
describing
sympathetic
the
at all.
Democrats' favorite voter.
Yeah, right. Wait, Shane. Do you want to read the first sentence of that paragraph right
Let me
there?
get my old man glasses.
Old man glasses. Just starting
Sentence up
with
here?
Yeah.
At a master calendar hearing, the respondent, through counsel, admitted the factual allegations contained in the NTA and conceded removability as charged. Should I keep going?
Based on the respondent's admissions and concessions, the court found his removability to be established by clear and convincing evidence as required by INA 240C3. So this is the document from 2019, August 9th and September 27th, where they again confirmed he was to be removed. However, not to El Salvador, because a gang in Guatemala was threatening to kill him. This is the story. A Guatemalan gang was threatening his family, and they didn't feel that they could be protected in El Salvador. Now, the only question that needs to be asked based on this is, can he be deported somewhere else? The answer is yes, of course. And
yeah, well, but there was a stay on that removal. So they were going to remove him there, but then they realized that they couldn't. So the judge put a stay on that, an indefinite. It's supposed to be temporary, but it became indefinite because it's been years that he's been on that temporary stay. So it's kind of wild for them to. It's kind of wild for the judge to be like, hey, so we were supposed to deport you and you went through the due process, but we're gonna delay it for an undisclosed amount of time. Come on now. It's supposed to be temporary, so you will go eventually, maybe in 100 years. But hey, it's temporary, technically speaking. I feel like the judge might have done a little technical thing with that, because it's been years and he's still technically not done with that process, which is wild.
So then the error that the Trump administration made, they were supposed to have a USCIS interview with Rebecca Garcia before sending him home. And they didn't. But under the Alien Enemies Act, he was allowed to do it. So, I feel like this horse, I would argue that we've beaten the dead horse on this story, but Democrats won't shut up about it. So let me just say we've ground the horse into glue at this point, because I don't know how many times we need to point out that this guy was found deportable, credibly an MS-13 gang member, now accused of beating his wife. And I guess I'll put it this way.
And we keep forgetting about the whole, that one little caveat where the judge the same judge put a stay on it, or maybe it was a different judge, but some judge put a stay on it. But like that judge, that's a bad judge. All the other judges that said that other things that he said that he should be deported, obviously those judges were correct, and it wasn't the other ones that we don't like. I'm not gonna lie, it's a bad faith interpretation of what he's saying, but like it kind of feels like that. Like people that don't like, you gotta be able to at least acknowledge the fact that a judge did put a stay on there. You could say that that you don't like that they did that, but like at least mention it, because if you don't mention it, it just seems like you're just trying to keep certain details out of the open because you probably don't think they're important, but they are important.
We could have opened the show with the Hegseth Signalgate story.
Oh, we'll get to that?
Yeah, but it's
Oh, this is where the debate starts.
a story.
It's not.
The second Signalgate?
No,
the fake story.
The story about how the Department of Defense is a total mess. I mean, his former spokesperson is saying, on the record that what exactly did he say?
All right, just so you guys have context. I'm not going to pause it so many times. I just want to give you some context. This person keeps confusing the first Signalgate with the second. They keep having a miscommunication with whether they're talking about the first Signalgate or the second Signalgate. So just keep that in mind. That's where the confusion comes in within the first part of this entire disagreement, I guess.
From hell inside of the Department of Defense. That's concerning. And this is a guy who worked for Trump in 2016 too. This is not just some like lefty spokesperson that he inherited from the civil service. This is a true MAGA believer who was like, oh, come on.
Who else worked for Trump in 2016?
And there are a number of other people have come out.
In his 2016 term, it's 2017.
Why would he have hired him to be his chief Pentagon spokesperson and lead the communications at the NSA if he didn't believe that this guy was legit?
Why were there 3 people leaking information to the press?
Listen, you got to take this
allegedly.
seriously.
Oh, come on. She asked a question first, and then Tim responds with another question. Come on, Tim. That's not good faith. You got to answer a question before you ask her a question. Like, you're the one who did this first. Tim, you started it. That's a bad faith response to a question. You're not supposed to ask a question. You're not supposed to answer a question with another question. Come on now.
In the article that was he a chief of staff or
he was the chief Pentagon spokesperson until 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, he wrote an op-ed in Politico where he actually denied those the 3 advisors that they ever leaked anything. So I want to add allegedly here because I do feel like lawsuits are coming. All of these guys were trying to
allegedly.
All of this is very much allegedly, and all this.
Tim really likes that word, allegedly, when it benefits his side. I get it. All right, good one, Tim. Good one.
This is also allegedly because
that's not necessarily a bad thing, but I like pointing it out because it's fun.
They allegedly leaked documents about attacking Iran to try to preempt and try to prevent the strike by leaking it out there early, and that could be a part of the problem at the Pentagon. But it is unusual for this guy to be resigning or probably fired and told to resign, and then have this happen. I don't think we'll see any shakeups there.
Well, what are your thoughts on the Abrego Garcia story then?
On this story, I mean, it is a hard one because we
gotta disconnect from this Signalgate stuff. Like, go back. Let's talk about this Garcia guy, because this is the one that's burning the Democrats right now. We don't care about the new Signalgate stuff. It's just all allegedly. Yeah, not important. Come on now.
You think that politically
that's a bad faith interpretation, but you know what? It kind of seems like that, and I know Destiny would make that argument. So whatever.
No. I think it's politically, you're right, that the immigration story is on Trump's side. I mean, he was elected to seal off the border, deportations. I think the due process is the part that the Democrats are arguing about. Like, they want to make sure that there is due process, and obviously the halting. This is the guy who was the hairdresser, right? The makeup artist.
No.
Okay.
It's the wife beating.
No, she's completely correct. It's the due process part. That's what Democrats are complaining about. Like, at least acknowledge the fact that that's the thing that they're being that their whole point was they're trying to focus on, and ignore the fact that there was like a lot of evidence that the guy was MS-13. They were trying to like cope and ignore that fact, but also talk about like due process. But like, now they finally had to stop and get back into reality and have to acknowledge that, yeah, he's probably an MS-13, so maybe we should not keep focusing on that. But okay.
Beating MS-13 gang member.
Got it. All right, then I'm not fully up to date on this one. I was.
The hairdresser's a fake story too.
Why is that one fake?
Because they're not asylum seekers. You don't travel from Venezuela through the entirety of.
Technically incorrect, Tim. They are, technically speaking, asylum seekers. under the law that we have now, our asylum laws are really garbage, terrible, actually, very bad. Anybody can come here. They're supposed to go to the other they're supposed to go to the other countries and ask for their asylum, and then if they get rejected there, they have to keep working their way up to the United States. And how is the US government going to verify that? I mean, we don't even have a system in place to verify that. So what we do is literally we just assume once they come into the country, if they say that they're an asylum, it doesn't matter whether they came from like all the way in Nigeria or like, that's what the court date is for. We figure that stuff out when they come here and say that, and then they just end up staying. Like it's an abuse of the asylum system. Our asylum laws or our system that we use for the immigration stuff is busted. So like technically speaking, they are asylees until they miss their court date, which is like in like what, 2 years when they come in. It's wild. The system is busted. The system is busted. So whenever Tim says, "Oh, they're not asylees," when he says that, he means, "Oh, they're just illegal," because Tim already knows that they're just intentionally abusing our system, which Tim can assume that, but like it's kind of a bad faith assumption. Why would you assume that they're just coming in here just to abuse our system? Like, couldn't you just think that they came here? Like, wouldn't some of them or a good chunk of them want to come here because they really want to be in the US? And there's some economic issues, but like, we need to fix our asylum system first before you can start saying, "Oh, they're not asylees," because technically speaking, under the law, they are until they miss their court date.
Central America, come to the United States and say, "Now I need asylum." You go to Mexico.
So Tim is wrong. Tim is wrong. Tim is just wrong.
This is the wife beating MS-13 gang member.
Got it. All right, then I'm not fully up to date on this one. I was.
The hairdresser's a fake story too.
Why is that one fake?
Because they're not asylum seekers. You don't travel from Venezuela through the entirety of Central America, come to the United States and say, "Now I need asylum." You go to Mexico. You go to any other country. It's typically expected of any asylum seeker to go to the first safe country they get to. So for Venezuela,
that was supposed to be remain in Mexico under Trump.
Right. So this guy, he's like, "Venezuela is dangerous for me. I better travel through all these other countries."
I have no doubt that he tried to get into the U.S. illegally and live here illegally. Of course. Yeah.
And then when he went through, it's an executive hearing. We call them judges. They said his tattoos are MS-13, and he got deported to El Salvador.
To that horrible
for MS-13 gang members.
Yeah, and they confirmed that he is an MS-13 member.
So he was found to be an MS-13 gang member in the standard procedure by his crown tattoos on his wrists, which the left is arguing are just crowns and they're not MS-13. And so I would just
say, want him to have due process, essentially, right?
What is the due process of an illegal immigrant?
I mean, I think that they have the right to immigration court, right?
And they did.
And he lost.
Yes, he is deportable and he had crowns.
He lost during the Biden years, right? Is that right?
I'm not entirely sure.
Okay, well, I think that'd be interesting to find out. Because, I mean, you might say, "Oh, the Trump administration has different criteria." Listen, I can't really debate.
It did happen underneath the Trump administration, but like that was Trump's MO like back then too, so it's not surprising.
This one in the same way because I thought it was the Maryland hairdresser that we were talking about, or makeup artist.
He wasn't in Maryland, was he?
Oh,
the California.
Oh, the makeup artist was in California.
I don't know.
But the point is, you're right.
There's so many illegals that have come over since Joe Biden took office and stuff. So there's probably a Maryland hairdresser that's here illegally. So you're probably close to
Maryland.
I think I'm conflating it.
Yeah,
I'm conflating it because yes, some Democrats are doing this, and I do question. I mean, I think there's just a fear that it's happening so quickly and so recklessly, and that people are not getting their due process in the process of it, especially when they're saying we're going to deport homegrown.
They are getting a due process. Each and every one of them.
Then why would the judge halt the guy that was being deported to Venezuela?
Yeah, right. So
why you roll your eyes?
Okay, so here's a question for you.
He's still a judge.
Why has Trump?
Even if he's an activist.
Oh, an activist judge. Oh, but he's still a judge. What? She's correct here. She is technically correct. Just because you don't like the judge doesn't mean that the judge didn't rule, like a legit judge didn't rule on this. They are still legit judges. If you don't like the judge, then I don't even know. Like, what can a citizen do if they don't like a judge? You can't really vote them out. That's not how you deal with judges. I actually don't know. If you don't, I mean, I guess if you don't like the judge, you could just call them an activist judge and just discredit their ruling, and then just be like, I don't like, and just form an opinion, a negative opinion about the judge, and then just ignore whatever this specific judge says. I guess you could do that, but like then you're just being petty then at that point. Like, oh, he's an activist judge. I don't like what he said. Like, okay, all right, that's not convincing anybody.
His judge, if you want to say that, he's still a judge.
But Phil gave you a reason. It's that they're political activists who are trying to obstruct Trump. There's your answer. Why has Trump received 40% of all universal, let me phrase, unconstitutional universal injunctions?
I mean, I think that
81 out of like 200.
He was definitely pushing the boundaries of the Constitution. He tried to get rid of what was it, the
birthright citizenship.
Yeah, he tried to get rid of that. He's definitely
he didn't try. He is actively doing so now, and it's going to court.
But the point.
Okay, there you go. So like he is like challenging lots of constitutional stuff here. So, okay, the guy that's challenging a lot of constitutional stuff is getting a lot of these injunctions. Like it kind of makes sense, you know. So yeah.
And the point of
birthright citizenship is falsely interpreted and does not exist.
He is pushing the limit.
Oh, okay. Yes. I mean, but that's true. Yes, that's true. Yes. Wait, let me go back a little bit.
Birthright citizenship.
Yeah, he tried to get rid of that. He's definitely
he didn't try. He is actively doing so now, and it's going to court.
But the point and the point of
birthright citizenship is falsely interpreted and does not exist.
He is pushing the limits of the Constitution every single day.
In what way?
I mean, with that alone.
But the Constitution says,
and also by defying a judge's order, whether you don't agree or not, like you should have halted that plane and put the person down and then gone through the
Supreme Court sided with him on that.
And the appeal.
The Supreme Court sided with him.
They allowed him to be deported.
The Supreme Court said no one can direct the executive branch to engage in foreign policy. And so the issue was should Abrego Garcia be returnable? They should facilitate his return. And the argument from the conservatives is, or from Trump, that if he were to try to come back to the U.S., Trump must facilitate that return. Otherwise, we have nothing to do with it.
But then there's just like these random guys, like these German tourists that didn't have a booking on, in Hawaii, and they are suddenly getting deported. I just think there's a feeling like, and then you're seeing students on the street just being like muzzled basically and deported because of their political activity on universities, and that's a little scary. I'm sorry.
Why though?
I mean, it is because
What do you mean? Why is it not a little scary? Like, bro, these people are tourists. Like some people, they're gonna come here, they're gonna tour, but then they make a mistake on their hotel booking, and they end up booking for like a day later instead of like the day that they came. Like, bro, like, and then they get deported because they made that mistake. Yeah, it's a little scary. Come on now, that is so easily understandable. Like you're there on vacation, you made an error on booking, and then now the government's like, bro, you gotta get out. You gotta leave right now. You can't stay. Like. That is a little scary. Come on. That's Tim. Why are you not like understanding this? You can at least concede to that. Come on. Give a little bit. Tim, give a little bit.
Because of their political activity on universities. And that's a little scary. I'm sorry.
Why though?
I mean, it is because, okay, first of all, you're a free speech guy. You are out there, have a booking on, in Hawaii, and they're suddenly getting deported. I just think there's a feeling like, and then you're seeing students on the street just being like muzzled basically and deported because of their political activity on universities. And that's a little scary. I'm sorry.
Why though?
I mean, it is because, okay, first of all, you're a free speech guy. You were out there, Occupy Wall Street. What if you were like misidentified and deported and you were an American the entire time? And
have any Americans been deported?
It could happen.
Sure, and if it does, it'll be a problem. But for the time being, all the enforcement's been under the law.
But even if you're not an American and don't you think?
That's true. It's a little scary that things are going a little fast. So like, it's a little risky, and like she sees it. But so far, we haven't deported any U.S. technically U.S. citizens yet. We've only deported people that have been that were like asylees or during the process. Like no actual citizen that got their citizenship has been accidentally deported, and we've been deporting a lot of people. So like, if a mistake was going to be made, it was made, but only on the technically asylee, technically not asylee, like debacle there. So like that's the only problems we've had. The only problems we've had was the technically the asylees, I guess, or the people that are in the middle of the process of becoming a citizen, not the people that were legit citizens. We haven't had that issue yet, and I don't think that issue is going to come up. And everyone keeps pointing out all these little things where like some people, they got deported even though they technically were an asylee or they had a green card, but like no legit person with an actual citizenship was deported, even though Trump administration is like hitting this at a very like hitting first and asking questions later. Like it feels very risky what they're doing, but they actually haven't had that specific mistake made yet. That could happen in the future. I don't think it will, but it could, and I understand why she feels that way. But yeah, let's keep going.
I think that like part of the rights of being in this country are free speech.
Not if you're illegal.
I think it's scary that non-Americans are in our country calling for violence on campuses, and the campuses aren't doing anything about it.
Yeah, I mean, that's on the universities for sure. They should be dealing with that.
So in the case of Mahmoud Khalil, this is a guy who was organizing whether it was intentional or otherwise, violent protests where employees were attacked and threatened, buildings were taken over, Jewish students were attacked on campus. And even people presumed to be Jewish.
Did he direct people to attack Jewish people?
Doesn't matter. He organized the event. So if you organize a parade, if you organize a dance party, but then your dance party robs a bank, you're getting in trouble for it.
Tim is correct on that
You're not
one.
going to be charged with robbing the bank. They're going to say like whatever you were involved with.
Yeah, you're kind of a conspirator.
They're going to RICO you and you're going to jail.
I think it's
And she agrees. And she agrees. Come on. There's so much agreement with this person, but when she gives like a legit opinion on like how it kind of feels kind of scary, we're like, oh no, that's impossible. We can't think that way. Bro, she's giving so much. She's giving so much.
rich how the Democrats.
And she's fast. She's very fast. She is like I want to say she is like probably one of the smartest, like, or the most what do you call it? Like I don't want to say she's a strong woman or whatever, but it's kind
Annoying
of like
theorist 6R7 Eixt. Cheap viewers on streambo.com.
Yeah, good job. No, thank you. But thanks for the chat, though. But anyways, after I've been rudely interrupted by annoying the whatever this guy is, losing my train of thought. Yeah, I lost my train of thought. Let's keep going.
Democrats have just been speed running through these different causes. First it was
Oh yeah, I was just glazing her a little bit, but whatever.
Khalil, and then they means tested it quickly and realized, oh wait, this guy isn't good for us. Then they moved on to this most recent gang member that they said wasn't. And have you seen his tattoos on his knuckles where they're trying to say like, oh, he is not. This isn't supposed to be a simple.
I mean,
no.
This is standard operating procedure.
It always happens on both sides of the aisle. They pick their like political person that they get behind.
Yes, that is true. That is true. But we only like it when the Republicans do it. That's essentially what Tim is going to say.
You know, and if it's like, it's either like Laken Riley, now it's Mahmoud Khalil.
Doesn't it feel
Lincoln
like the
Riley was
Democrats-
murdered.
No, I know, but this is cynical political shit that they do. It's on both sides.
I have a problem with the both sides argument.
But what do you mean? Like, why is it cynical?
It's cynical because this is what they're doing. Like they are taking one person's example and they're blowing it up.
But he's a legit criminal, and we have 20 million or
hold
so
on.
illegal
Listen,
immigrants.
wait. I'm going to agree with you 100%. Agreed. The conservatives prop up a young woman who was murdered by an illegal immigrant criminal gang member, and the Democrats prop up the criminal illegal immigrant gang member. I know which side I'm on.
True. I mean, hey, it seems a little bit hypocritical, but like, bro, like it's true. Like what?
Listen,
Cynical or otherwise, you're right. The Republicans are like, this poor woman was murdered by these evil, criminal gang members, and the Democrats are like, please don't hurt our criminal illegal gang members.
I can't listen. I can't.
That's a simplification, but whatever. I mean, I'll just let Tim say it. He can get away with that one.
Can't really argue on this topic to be completely fair with the topics. I haven't.
Okay, so
I'm not going to argue in favor of these people because I don't even know their full history.
take the individual specific people out of it, right? You look at look at the people that the Democrats champion and what tends to happen after all of the information comes out.
Yeah.
Right. The guy that they were championing that ended up getting all what's the town Kenosha burnt down. The man was trying to kidnap kids. He had a knife. The police shot him, and then Kamala Harris goes and takes
a woman.
Yeah, I mean, like he's trying to kidnap kids. He assaulted him. He had a cop. It was a quote unquote good shoot. And Kamala Harris goes and takes pictures with him. Right.
And
George
NFL players put his name on their helmet.
Yeah, George Floyd had committed a crime, right, and he died in police custody.
But that was like a nothing.
He was
murder.
chewing a speedball behind the wheel of a vehicle.
Yes.
And when the police removed him, they brought him to the vehicle to be arrested. You could watch all the body camera footage. It's all in the video. And he fought them.
Yeah.
And he said, put me on the ground, put me on the ground, put me on the ground. So they pulled him out of the vehicle and put him on the ground.
Did they have to kill him on the ground?
So let me finish. A few minutes later, Derek Chauvin shows up having no idea what's going on and performed what the Minnesota police trained him to do, because even the defense showed this in the continuum of force argument in the criminal trial for Chauvin. He was told to do that. So he shows up, there's a guy on the ground, he has no idea what's happening. They say, do the restraint. He says, okay. They put so you know how it's bunk? The cop who was simply standing in front of people with his hands up, not involved in the Chauvin incident at all, just off to the side, they put him in prison for life. Why?
And then the
They
Ahmed
didn't care what was true.
The George Floyd stuff is wild. So like I watched the full 20-minute video, 20-minute or less video, and what Tim is saying is true. That guy came in later, the guy that was doing the whole kneeling on the neck, like the last 9 minutes that people see and not see like the first 11 to 12 minutes. They like this is just like I don't have any sympathy for the George Floyd thing, but I also have zero sympathy for the officer as well, because when someone was doing a specific documentary on the whole thing, the family of the Derek Chauvins decided not to like talk at all. Like they didn't want to say anything because the cop felt guilty. So you know what? Cop felt like he did something wrong. He needs to do the time, and I'm not gonna defend that. So like, whatever. Like the people that were doing that specific documentary, the documentary I'm talking about was from Candace Owens. So like, I guess you can delete me in the comments or write me up. Oh, you listen to Candace Owens. Yeah, she's correct on certain things, and then she's dead wrong on other things. Like it's the same. Like I mean, people are just gonna automatically assume people that with like they hear a specific word and then they automatically just write you off because they hear one word that they just don't like. So I'm like, all right, well, whatever. Those type of people don't need to exist on my channel. They're too stupid to like actually like understand when I'm talking about a specific point that someone's making. But then when I say they generalize or they write me off because of the names, they don't like the name that I said, basically, instead of actually listening to the point or for the argument. But like whatever. I'm just trying to guess what people are gonna say and then tackle that point right now. But like, someone could make another argument. But I went down a rabbit hole, and now I'm just gonna stop right there. Just go back to the video. But yeah, what was I saying? Maybe I finished my point.
So you know how it's bunk? The cop who was simply standing in front of people with his hands up.
Yeah, the George Floyd thing. So like, yeah, I mean, I essentially just said what I wanted to say.
Involved in the Chauvin incident at all, just off to the side. They put him in prison for life. Why?
And then the Ahmed...
They didn't care what was true. They just want to lock them all up.
And the Ahmed Arbery case, that guy, Ahmed Arbery...
All right, I'm just going to say it right now. I think they have the Ahmed Arbery stuff a little bit wrong. And, all right, well, here's another thing you can write me off because I'm going to use another name that people are going to get triggered by. Destiny. Destiny. I listened to some of Destiny's stuff, and he kind of changed my mind on the whole Ahmed Arbery thing. It's a little bit less... I agree with the sentencing, but I understand Destiny's point of view, and there's certain little factoids that the Timcast crew get wrong with the Ahmed Arbery thing, but there is the point of them. I think the Timcast crew gets the intent right, but some of the fact things wrong, but for the Ahmed Arbery thing specifically. But whatever. I don't need to dig into this.
He committed burglary. The guys that shot him, they were going to... It was a bad law, an old law that they were
What do you
following.
guys want me to say? The Democrats pick bad, cynical political characters?
That's the point.
But the right is trying to maintain, sustain safety and order right now, and the left promotes violence and chaos.
The question is, like, when do they overstep the boundaries?
Well, right now, going back to what a lot of saying with speedrunning these different people is like what we were talking about before the show. The Democrats are desperate
disarray.
To find.
Let me add this.
And things are just...
Yo, Surge, the guy that Surge, the dude that's here. Let me see. Can I find this guy? Surge. We're gonna look this guy up right now. Yeah, this dude. He's the no, not this guy. This guy, the Surge dude. He's the producer, and he's flipping through those screens so freaking fast. He is doing such a good job in this episode. Like, he's flipping. He's just clicking all those buttons, getting all those angles. He's doing a really good job.
Just happening so fast and furiously, and that's why I think there's a lot of concern.
So,
and the way it's happening, it's like kind of...
But we voted for mass deportations, at least
indeed.
I did.
Yes, that's true. That is true. Yes, that is true. That's the concern. It's going kind of quick, and it's kind of concerning. Yes, that's true. At least give that to her. But do they give that to her? And this is the thing that's going to bother me throughout this entire thing, and why I'm kind of going a little harsh on Tim. It's gaslighty. This is a gaslighty thing to do. You need to... She's been conceding a lot, and you guys don't concede anything for what she says. And it makes her... In her mind, it's like... It's very gaslighty. It is very gaslighty. I don't like that. I really don't like that.
I pointed out that we often
Without due
for the
process,
past
though.
Due
That's not
process,
true.
we just talked about
They're
with
gonna
the
get due
illegals.
process. I got the court document right here for Abrego Garcia that says he admitted to removability. So the question is, was he warranted a USCIS interview before final deportation? The answer is yes, but their argument is, at first we made an error in doing so without checking for this. However, under the Alien Enemies Act, we are allowed to get rid of him regardless. So, but the point I was going to make a moment ago,
Isn't that
when we're setting up the show, I was pointing out that we often try to find a prominent individual that represents a core of the story or the parties involved. There are no Democrats. This is what it took us. We were it was.
So like, yes, the guy did get due process, but she doesn't like the fact that the due process was so, like, she doesn't like the specific due process that they did because they did the process. The guy was exempted. She doesn't like the fact that the guy was exempted. So it seems like the guy didn't actually have the right due process, but the thing changed. So he had his due process. It's just not the way that she would want it to be. So technically that's a correct thing to say, Tim.
7:52, we finally got the thumbnail up because I was like, I guess Trump? I guess Trump's the only political character who's involved in the news. There's Van Hollen, but he's backing away. There's no Schumer anymore. There's no AOC anymore. There's no Kamala. There's no Biden. There is no central Democrat party.
And arguably those members that you saw in that picture, even though I'm not fully aware of the story, like they are more from the progressive.
I mean, but that's a point. I'm pausing it a lot now, but like that's a point towards like why the Democrats, like why people shouldn't be in why people shouldn't bother with Democrats. They only come to you during election time, not now. Like we're only, because I'm like, in my head, I'm like, Tim, the reason why they're not doing, like the way that Tim is saying it, he says it like he doesn't really know the answer to this. Like the reason why they're not doing this is because it's not an election year. It's not an election year. Election year is like 2 years from now, for the midterms. But like they just don't care. And like if they really cared, there would be a Democratic leader right now, like talking back and doing all this stuff and consistently being in the spotlight and trying to like be on par with Trump. But like they just don't care. So like, yeah, it makes sense. Like they don't care until they need your vote. So like they're not gonna bother like talking or saying anything or even like discussing anything or pointing out stuff, but only just do like their little grandstanding stunts here and there, and then kind of just collect the checks and stuff like that, and that's it, and move on. Like they don't really care until they need your vote, and they don't need your vote until voting election. So like, yeah, there's a reason why there's no Democrat to be seen right now, because there's no votes being had. There's no votes being needed right now, and that's a point against Democrats. They really should like show that they care a little bit more. At least like I could tell that Trump cares, because like he's on the spotlight like all the time, regardless if it's good or bad. Like if he only cared about himself, he wouldn't want to be in the spotlight where he's like negatively being portrayed all the time. Like it's just pure negativity. Like if it was only purely like a selfish thing that Trump was trying to do and he doesn't care about anything else, like he wouldn't, like, bro, the guy almost got deleted and decided to keep running anyways. But like he's a multi-billionaire. He's a multi-billionaire. He does not need to do this. This guy, like, he literally could just concede and be like, yeah, you know what? I don't have to do this anymore. I'm on my final steps. I'm going to enjoy the rest of my life with the money that I have. Because, like, Destiny would make this argument. Well, actually, no. Destiny, he would used to make this argument, but now he's actually making the argument where he doesn't even know why Trump is doing this. But he still hates him anyways. And I'm like, oh, okay. Good one, Destiny. Very convincing.